Why are we stressing? Yeah, he might owe 50 million.
Just with those two fights, Canelo and the Pacquiao fight, 400 million, just with those two fights.
Imagine getting a letter from the IRS saying you owe millions in taxes. That is how Floyd Mayweather got knocked out by the IRS.
Stephen A. Smith has openly criticized Floyd Mayweather over his financial controversies, questioning why someone who has claimed to earn millions from each fight still has unresolved debts, especially with the Internal Revenue Service, and he pointed out that a figure with Mayweather's level of wealth should not be dealing with these kinds of problems, suggesting that these ongoing issues damage his reputation and highlight a clear gap between the image of success he presents to the public and the financial challenges he continues to face.
It's up to about $140 million that you're throwing around. I don't understand this, but here's all I gotta say. For those of you that are looking at him and you're saying to yourself, excuse me, according to the reports, he makes about $1.5 million per show or whatever. Why are we stressing? Yeah, he might owe 50 million.
In his commentary, Stephen A. Smith expressed clear disbelief over Floyd Mayweather's financial choices, saying it is hard to understand how someone who has earned such massive amounts of money could still end up involved in ongoing controversies. And he suggested that these decisions not only raise serious questions about his financial judgment, but also harm his reputation within the sports world, while also stressing that financial responsibility is critical for high-profile athletes, pointing out that Mayweather's situation may serve as a warning about how poor money management can lead to lasting damage to both finances and legacy.
You know, kind of sold that. It was great marketing. He's not a boxer, but hey, he was a knockout artist in the UFC. I get it. John Gotti III, I don't know anything about him. I'm not trying to disrespect him. And yes, I'm being smart. I'm not trying to disrespect the grandson of a mobster. Fair enough. But what I'm trying to say is this. When you're great, when you're elite, not just anybody deserves to be in your pristine space. And what I mean by that is I'm not talking about on the street, anything like that. Boxing is your thing.
Floyd Mayweather, widely known as Money Mayweather, has built his image around showing off extreme wealth, often claiming he earned hundreds of millions from just two major fights against Manny Pacquiao and Canelo Alvarez, with the bout against Pacquiao alone generating over $400 million in total revenue, and Mayweather reportedly taking a very large portion of that amount. Yet despite these massive earnings, he came under serious financial scrutiny when the Internal Revenue Service filed a lien against him for millions in unpaid taxes from a previous year, raising major questions about how someone with such high income could face these issues, especially considering his public image centered on luxury, success, and financial power. And in response to these claims, Mayweather stated that he had already paid a significant amount in taxes for that same year, while also challenging the IRS demands and insisting that his financial empire remains strong and stable. But this clear contrast between his public statements of wealth and the ongoing tax concerns highlights the reality that managing huge earnings is complex and shows how important financial responsibility is, even for the highest paid athletes in the world.
He's fighting again, and they say that he's fighting for money. How could that be?
Your team. You know, it's all about who you surround yourself with. I don't know who's his promoter. I gave him the option before. Well, me and Manny spoke before about fighting the first time. I think I offered him, 40 million. I don't know if it was, but I told him I would wire him 20 million within 48 hours. And then at that particular time, he said he wanted 50-50, and he got off the phone. And at that time, I think I was going to make for that fight probably 75 million at that time, somewhere upwards of 75 million. But it's all about timing. I took my time, I waited, we communicated.
Floyd Mayweather often speaks about his rise from a difficult childhood to becoming one of the most successful athletes in history, explaining how he grew up in New Jersey living in a small apartment with several family members while dealing with serious hardships like power outages, as his mother struggled with addiction and his father, Floyd Mayweather Sr., spent long periods in prison. And despite all this, Mayweather found direction in boxing, developing a strong sense of independence and discipline from an early age, even saying he felt like he had to raise himself, while his father, once present, pushed him to stay focused and let his performance speak instead of seeking attention. And this mindset shaped his relentless attitude, as he has often made it clear that nothing ever feels like enough and that he remains focused on his goals regardless of outside opinions. With his journey standing as a powerful example of resilience, showing how he overcame major obstacles to reach the very top of his sport.
Before I can take care of anyone outside the home, I must take care of home first. So what I believe in every day is I strengthen my children and my family by giving them wisdom about life. In the boxing world, my dad taught me also, the less you get hit, the longer you can last in the sport of boxing. That's anything in life. For a person that's working a 9 to 5, an everyday job, you want to take as less punishment as possible on the job so you can last a very long time and feed your family. And then my dad also taught me this. It's never good enough. No matter what, it's never good enough.
Stephen A. Smith has openly criticized Floyd Mayweather for continuing to take part in exhibition fights against less challenging opponents like Conor McGregor, questioning why someone who has already earned massive amounts of money, including a huge payday from that fight, still chooses to participate in bouts that seem more about profit than real competition. And he argued that these decisions can weaken Mayweather's legacy because a fighter of his level should not be stepping into the ring with just anyone, especially after retirement, as it does not reflect the high standard of opponents he faced during his prime, while also pointing out the contradiction between his enormous earnings and ongoing financial concerns, such as reported tax issues with the Internal Revenue Service, suggesting that better financial management could have avoided such problems. And beyond boxing, Mayweather's lavish lifestyle continues to attract attention, including reports that he once gave cash to homeless individuals near Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, which some people praised as generosity, but others questioned after he posted from Dubai around the same time, raising doubts about whether the story was fully accurate and adding to ongoing skepticism about his public image.
So where is Floyd Mayweather? Is he still stuck in Dubai? Is he back in the United States? Because there's been a lot of contradicting stories coming out about this, but we do have an update of exactly what's going on. And I do think there is some lying involved. I don't know who's lying, but somebody is lying. And that's what we're going to figure out in today's video. By the end of this video, I hope we figure out where Floyd Mayweather is. So on the 2nd of May, TMZ came out with this article. It says Floyd Mayweather gives $30K to a group of homeless men before Clippers game. Now, this comes amid, rumors of Floyd Mayweather being stuck in Dubai because he owes people money. And, these are coming from trustworthy sources, Gervonta Davis, Floyd Mayweather, people who know about Floyd Mayweather's inner life. But back to TMZ. So they reported Floyd Mayweather was courtside for last night's pivotal Clippers versus Mavericks game, but before money got to the arena, he was handing it out, blessing 3 homeless men with $30K. Now, there are no pictures, there is no video of this happening, but there is an official TMZ article, and TMZ usually gets it right. TMZ also said, we're told Mayweather began talking to the guys and decided he wanted to help, so he busted out his backpack and blessed each guy with 10 raps.
This situation shows how complicated public perception can be and how difficult it is for celebrities like Floyd Mayweather to manage their image, as he recently claimed to have carried out a charitable act in Los Angeles that gained wide attention. But doubts quickly arose when he was seen in Dubai at the same time, leading many to question whether the event actually happened or was exaggerated to improve his public image. And this mismatch between his statements and actions created skepticism about his intentions, showing that while charity can enhance a reputation, any inconsistency can damage credibility and make it seem like self-promotion rather than genuine effort, turning the situation into a reminder of how easily public trust can be affected and adding to the pressure on him as he also faces continued scrutiny over his finances. Despite earning huge amounts in his career, including a massive payday from his fight with Manny Pacquiao, as the Internal Revenue Service once filed a federal tax lien against him for millions in unpaid taxes. And in response, he even requested relief through the U.S. tax court around the time of his fight with Conor McGregor, arguing that his wealth was tied up in assets and not easily accessible. While the IRS maintained he had enough resources to pay, which has sparked ongoing debate about his financial decisions, the sustainability of his luxury lifestyle, and the reality behind his claimed wealth, even as he continues to take part in exhibition fights that he says are for enjoyment rather than financial need.
But he's just flaunting, as you said, he's flaunting his opulence. He's also flaunting basically his middle finger at the IRS. You cannot do this. No. You will lose. This is one foe you can't outrun or outdance or outsmart or play defense on. You just can't get away with it. You can try for a while, but the clock is just, that meter is just running and running and running, and it's just going straight up. Interest and penalties as we speak. Another day just passed, another interest penalty. And I don't get Floyd, because he's so out there with it, as you say, on Instagram. So it's not like he's trying to hide his opulence. He is throwing it out for all to see with all those cars and all the, it's outrageous, and he's earned it.
Joe Rogan recently expressed strong surprise at Floyd Mayweather's lavish lifestyle and financial decisions, explaining during a podcast that seeing his collection of luxury items, including multi-million-dollar watches and large amounts of diamonds, made it clear that such a lifestyle would require a steady and continuous flow of income to support, raising serious concerns about how sustainable that level of spending truly is over time. While Mayweather's financial situation has also been closely examined due to ongoing issues with the Internal Revenue Service, which previously filed a lien stating he owed millions in unpaid taxes from a year when he earned a massive sum from his fight with Manny Pacquiao. And although Mayweather insisted he had already paid a large amount in taxes for that period, inconsistencies remained, with more recent reports showing that he later made another significant payment to the IRS even after stepping away from professional boxing, suggesting that these obligations were still ongoing. And all of this highlights how even the highest-earning athletes can face serious challenges when it comes to managing their finances, with Rogan's remarks ultimately serving as a reminder that earning huge amounts of money does not guarantee long-term stability without careful financial planning and discipline.
I owe that money to the IRS. How much does he owe?
It's in the $20+ million range.
It's a lot of money, man.
But it's not something that he's been, it's not like deception.
No.
It's just neglect to pay.
Neglect. And it's also like, I think, and there is like a truth to this, he makes so much money, there's probably a point when they're like, hey, it's time to pay your taxes. And you go like, all right, here's a check for $25 million. That's an incredible amount of money. And then they go, that's true, but you owe 50 more. And he's just like, that can't be right. I've given you $25 million.
Yeah, he's bought over 100 luxury cars from the same dealer and always pays in cash.
He has $15 million worth of cars.
Congrats. You can sell them.
Floyd Mayweather's former accountant Dave Hall has revealed insights into the boxer's relaxed attitude toward large sums of money, explaining that Mayweather would often treat amounts like hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars as insignificant, showing a mindset where money felt unlimited and not worth closely tracking. But this approach raised serious concerns among experienced investors, as financial experts have pointed out that when dealing with major assets like commercial properties worth hundreds of millions, even small percentage changes in taxes can lead to huge losses, especially if profits are taxed at higher rates than expected, highlighting how critical proper tax planning and financial oversight are. And Mayweather's approach ultimately serves as a warning about the risks of ignoring the finer details when managing massive wealth.
How much money do you have in your bank account?
Which account? Which bank?
You have more than one account?
Absolutely.
I don't even have one account. Give me the amount of money you have in one of your accounts.
200 million, 300 million.
Dollars?
Yeah, in different accounts.
Floyd Mayweather's former accountant has described his very casual approach to money, explaining that he would often treat large amounts, even hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, as if they were insignificant, showing a mindset where such figures did not seem to matter much. But this attitude raised concerns among high-level investors who understand that even these amounts can have a major impact on financial results. As the accountant also pointed out that when dealing with large assets like commercial properties or malls, even a small increase in tax rates can lead to huge losses. For example, a multi-million-dollar profit being taxed at a higher percentage than expected can significantly reduce earnings, highlighting the importance of careful planning and understanding tax implications. And this kind of approach from Mayweather has led many to question his overall financial strategy, suggesting that while he earned massive amounts during his career, a lack of attention to detail in managing that wealth could create serious risks over time.
Be able to do a solo 401k, but you can do solo self-directed 401ks, $20,500 contribution that can go in there from you. You can also have employers, and you get up to 50, I think it's actually $64,000 into those this year. So, I mean, again, large amounts you can get inside of there, which if you got the extra money, then builds up to where you can buy properties. Maybe initially you're just doing loans, but over time you're starting to buy actual assets inside of there, and all that's growing tax-free.
Yeah. So do you see any issues coming up front? Any issues coming up, or any challenges or anything that can affect, tax changes that are coming? Obviously tax rates are going up, but anything that's, anyone that's listening, that's a real estate investor should be aware of? Or
Yeah. The biggest thing that they're talking about is increasing the long-term capital gains rate, getting it back up to ordinary tax. Now that's what's being discussed is anything over $1 million transaction. So you'd have many people that are getting into just residences, making 100, 200 grand here or there, $50,000 not going to affect. But for those large investors, obviously that's becoming very concerning, because if you've got a building, big mall or something else, it could be worth $100 million. All of a sudden you've got a $10 million profit on there that's now going to be taxed at 37 or 40 versus 20 to 24. Huge difference. So that's the biggest one people are keeping their eye on. There are some discussions that the step up in basis would go away with death, that people would no longer be able to get real estate with the step up in basis. But both of these have kind of fizzled. Again, they were part of Build Back Better that President Biden could never get enough support for. And with all the other economic issues that are going on right now, they've basically put it all on hold and said, look, we're not going to make any of these big changes until we can get inflation and some of these other things under control.
I saw a thing the other day that I guess it was up to 9.1% inflation.
Yeah.
And it just, was that yesterday, I think. It was all over Facebook that it went up like even more. And I know that we got quoted on a refinance for like 8%.
Floyd Mayweather's business partner has shared troubling insights about his financial situation, revealing that despite earning over $1 billion during his career, his high-end lifestyle continues to put heavy pressure on his wealth, as he regularly spends large amounts on luxury cars, private jets, and expensive real estate, with reports indicating he can spend hundreds of thousands every month. And even though millions are still coming in each year, his outgoing expenses often exceed his income, creating an ongoing financial strain that is further complicated by obligations like taxes owed to the Internal Revenue Service. And while he maintains a public image as one of the richest athletes in the world, these details suggest his financial position may not be as secure as it appears, raising concerns about the long-term sustainability of his wealth. As this situation highlights the importance of responsible financial management, showing that even with massive earnings from boxing and business ventures, unchecked spending can lead to debt, legal challenges, and increasing financial pressure, ultimately serving as a strong reminder that without careful planning and discipline, even the most successful individuals can face serious financial difficulties over time.
Look, man, we both made some real money, but you start burning through, you make $2-3 million a year, you burning through $100,000 a month. You ain't really got that much money.
Shit, he probably spending way more than that.
No, I'm talking regular dudes. We say we made $3 million, we burning through $100,000 a month. We really don't got no paper like that saved up.
That's a fact.
So even if he's making $100 million, if he's burning through $5, $6, $7 million a month, you still got taxes, you still got responsibilities. So I don't know nobody's bag, but you know, me and you, we real. We never count nobody's paper. So
Not at all.
I hope he got 10 billion, and I hope he get out of his problem.
That's a fact, because you would figure he should be able to just cash him out. Like whatever the tab is, you know, he should be able to wire that.
That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching and sticking with us until the end. Be sure to stay tuned for more updates, and we'll catch you in the next one.